Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday edition of the English language program with Laryssa and I'm Adnen Chaouachi, live from our studio in Tunis. I just want to remind you that there are theaters, cinemas, and cultural centers in Tunisia. Forget about TV programs and try to enjoy exceptional plays, movies, and concerts across the country. Thank you for your 142 emails. I've spent 1 hour reading some of your questions, and I don't pretend to have all answers, but my guests do. I welcome Stephen Kochuba, Information Officer at the US Embassy in Tunis, and Dr. Laryssa Chomiak from CIMAT. We'll talk about the Thomas Jefferson Scholarships. Welcome to our radio station.
Thank you, Adnen.
Thank you, Adnen.
Thank you for coming in on Sunday. Thank you for coming in on Sunday. I know it's very difficult.
Of course, no, we're very excited about this initiative, and thank you for the opportunity to talk with your listeners today about the Thomas Jefferson Scholarship Program.
Thank you for coming in, and our listeners, they can just keep posting on Facebook and sending questions via email. Sorry, I can't really have your calls because it's very difficult to have hundreds of calls in less than 1 hour. So Taylor Swift will be back. The beautiful Taylor Swift. She's a director and she's young as well. So my first question is about the program of the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs of the U.S. Department of State, Thomas Jefferson Scholarship Program. You have the floor.
Thank you, Adnan. We're very pleased at the U.S. Embassy to launch this new initiative this year, the Thomas Jefferson Scholarships. The Thomas Jefferson Scholarship is a $10 million program that over the course of 3 academic years will send 200 Tunisian students to the United States. This is a program that we hope will open new opportunities for talented young Tunisians to study in the United States. We've recognized the important role that education plays in Tunisia's democratic transition and economic development in the future. And so we want to launch this program to help students who played such an important role in Tunisia's revolution, who will continue to play a role in the future. And it will be an expansion of the strong ties that have existed between Tunisia and the United States of America for over 200 years. The Thomas Jefferson Scholarship is actually a program for two different scholarships. One is the Tunisia Undergraduate Scholarship, and this is for students currently enrolled in university programs in Tunisia. And the second is the Tunisia Community College Scholarship, and this program is for students who are currently enrolled in the EZ program here in Tunisia.
Dr. Laryssa Chomiak, some listeners claim that the selection is not transparent and that you're just operating in Tunis, and we've been discussing the issue of the trip to the south. So what can you say to all this?
There is a very heavy focus within this scholarship program to make sure that we help recruit students from the south and also from the center of the country. After the program was announced at the Ministry of Higher Education on Monday, a team from CIMAT went and visited universities and EZs in Gabes, Tatouine, Gafsa, Le Kef, and Jendouba. So we want to make sure that we include all prospective applicants in this process.
Do you really believe that the skills acquired from this program will facilitate the integration of our youth into the local market? It's a challenge.
It's absolutely a challenge, but we think that a combination of the academic skills that they will develop in the United States with the increased level of English that will come after 1 year in the United States, tied with some of the internship experience that they will have in the United States and the volunteer experience, will help take already very accomplished young Tunisians and give them additional tools so that when they return, they'll be able to pursue greater economic opportunity.
And you know, it's sometimes difficult for a student to understand that he or she will have to travel from the interior regions, from Tunis to the United States for 1 year, and to come back to Tunisia with new skills. How do you respond to these students who are really worried, to the parents who think that, okay, we'll send our kids, but where are we getting in return? It's difficult to explain to the parents.
I think the investment in education, Tunisia has always invested in heavily in education, and it's an investment that will continue to pay for many years to come. In the world we live in now, it's very important to have skills that are marketable on an international level, and I think the importance of the English language is also very important. And the United States, the universities, community colleges in the United States are famous around the world for welcoming students from not just Tunisia, not just North Africa, but from all over the world, and integrating them into the academic system, the higher education academic system in the United States. So we feel that the Tunisian students will be welcomed, and this will create an environment for them to really explore new academic and social opportunities in the United States.
You know that there's a problem in our education in Tunisia, the very fact of studying theory, and then when you move to the market, it's difficult to apply the theory and to look for jobs. Do you think this opportunity will really give our students the required skills?
I think this opportunity will significantly help Tunisian students be not only integrated in the American academic environment, but also benefit from such things as volunteerism, which is the basis of a civil society, and also participate in internships, which is a required part of the program in the second semester of studying the U.S. Upon their return to Tunisia, they will be integrated into our alumni network at CEMAT, which is an institution that's been in Tunisia since 1985. After the revolution, we've refocused some of our programs to include these kind of questions, how to integrate students into a new and rapidly changing economic market as well. So we will make these opportunities available for students as part of our network once they return from studying in the U.S.
And you're not looking for CVs, resumes, or grades. This should be, made clear for our listeners.
Right. The selection information and the requirements are on our website, on the CEMAT website, on the website of the Ministry of Higher Education, on the IREX, the International Researches and Exchange Board website, which is our partner organization in the United States. The selection process is a lot more than a Toefl score or grades from a university. We're looking for a comprehensive student who has to answer 2 essays that deal with questions of what it means to be a global citizen, for instance. How does education translate into social entrepreneurship? And we're very excited to read these parts of the applications to make a selection based on a composite student and not just a grade.
Okay, we'll have a short break and we'll be back. Dr. Chomiak, Emel is asking on Facebook about the applications, and how do you evaluate a successful application?
Okay. The applications consist of various different parts. There's basic biographical information, so it's very important for students to make sure that they put down their right hometown. Again, because our aim and our goal is to represent all of Tunisia and integrate and accept applications from students from the regions in the south. Second, there is the Toefl score. So for the EZ students, we require a minimum of 400 on the Toefl, and for the university students, a minimum of 500. Probably the most important parts are the students' essays, which are short 1,000-word statements on questions that are specified within the application. So again, it's about what it means to be a global citizen, what the connection is between studying and entrepreneurship, and also for the students to write about themselves and what makes them a good candidate for this program. In addition, we ask the students to list relevant coursework and classes that they've taken within their tracks of study, and also explain why they choose to study what they want to choose in the United States. And based on these different criteria, we evaluate them in two evaluation stages.
Tell us about the feedback from students in Tataouine and the interior regions.
Okay. The students in Tataouine especially were extremely excited about this project because, as anticipated, they oftentimes feel left out from programs that allow them to acquire these kind of necessary and very important skills. The questions were primarily about the procedure and what it means to leave to the United States within 3 months from now. The questions were also about what it means to study and experience a university campus in the United States and whether or not they will be supported once they are in the United States. And we assured them that through our partner organization, IREX, or the International Research and Exchanges Board, students will be part of a network and will receive the necessary support. Students also asked whether we could speak with their parents. So for those who have questions for their parents, we have a letter to the parents that has been posted on our website in both English and will be posted in Arabic in the coming days as well.
Stephen, I want to ask you about the community service. Iman is asking, and Ines as well, they have the same question. Is it true that students give back to their American host communities by contributing a minimum of 20 hours volunteer work during the semester? This is a new, really new mentality in the post-revolution Tunisia, because in the past things were really different. What about this community service?
I think the students will see when they travel to the United States that the system of education in America is quite unique, and it is not just the learning process isn't just something that happens in the classroom. And I think they will note the close relationship they will develop not only with the other students but with their professors, with the deans, the administrations at the universities. There is often a very close connection between students, professors, and also with the communities where the students are studying. It's very common for students in the United States to be involved with activities outside of the classroom that help them to stay a part of the community and give something back to the community. And we think that idea of community service is very important as a part of the learning process in the United States, and a skill for people to bring back when they come to Tunisia to contribute here in Tunisia.
This is a question posed by Ashraf Nif. Could the embassy publish the criteria that the selection committee uses while selecting the eligible students? For those who failed, it would be really great to send them a list or a chart where they were successful in scoring some point and when they failed to do so. In this way, they can reapply next year, knowing exactly where they have to improve their application. Do you think this is technically possible? Is this technically possible? With thousands of applications.
Unfortunately, we will not be able to give individual feedback on applications. But we do encourage students at that point to write to us and post on our Facebook walls so we can answer some of these questions in groups as well. And I just want to remind applicants who are interested in applying and who will be submitting an application in the next week, as the deadline is May 13th, that there's not a straightforward, strict formula that guarantees acceptance. It's many different parts of the applications that are together considered.
And Stephen, what about the professional internships? Because it's important for you to gain experience in the American workplace.
Absolutely. Well, for the students coming from the EZ program, we've focused primarily on students for this first year coming from business administration, information technology, and media. And we will try, based upon the students who are ultimately selected, we will look at their background, their academic achievements, and their service here in Tunisia to see what their interests are, what their accomplishments are. And we're going to try and pair them with an appropriate business or organization in the United States that can help them take their interests further. So it's something that will be determined based upon the interests and the accomplishments of the students.
Laryssa, Samia and Fatma asking you about Fulbright. Fulbright scholarship. Basically, yeah, go ahead please.
If I think I can answer that program. If students interested in obtaining their master's degree in the United States or doing PhD level research in the United States should visit the website of the U.S. Embassy in Tunis. On the front page of our embassy is a link where they can click to find more information. That program, the Fulbright program for a master's degree or for PhD level research, is open until June 28th. I would like to remind students that there is, because the requirements for a master's degree and PhD level doctoral research are a little bit more involved than for undergraduate programs. They should look at that soon, because although the deadline is June 28th, there's a lot of information that the students need to provide for that program. And we work on that program in cooperation with Ahmed East here in Tunis. And so students
very active
could contact the Ahmed East office here in Tunis if they have questions about that program.
One last question about the cultural passport to America. Our listeners say that they do not really understand the meaning of cultural passport.
I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think the diversity in the U.S. educational system is something very unique, and the interaction with professors and students who come not just from the United States but from all over the world. And so this will be an opportunity for Tunisian students to act as ambassadors for Tunisia to the United States, but also for a chance for them to interact with students and professors from all over the world, not just the United States, due to the nature of the diversity of the U.S. educational system.
Thank you very much. I'm still receiving messages and emails. I know it's very difficult to choose the right ones, and it's very difficult to read hundreds of questions and emails. But do you have a final message for our listeners? In Tunis and in the regions, as you said.
We continue to collect questions and comments as well, and we will be doing our best to update our Facebook page, the CEMAT Facebook page, and also the CEMAT website to make sure that we address all of the questions. And we wish all the prospective applicants a lot of luck, and we're very excited.
Yeah, Stephen, thank you.
And I would also like to add, just to remind the students, that the deadline is May 13th, and so they should actively be working on their applications. I would also like to remind the students that this is a 3-year program. So for students who perhaps aren't selected this year, they should look at the criteria. We will be looking at the involvement of students in their local communities here in Tunisia, not just the ultimate academic grade that they get each year. So working on their English, their involvement in their communities for the coming year. This is a program that will send ultimately 200 students to the United States from Tunisia over 3 years. So this program will continue next year and the following year. So I would recommend that students start even thinking, if they will be starting university or ESET next year, start looking at ways that they could prepare their application, because we will be advertising this program again in the coming year and the year after.
Stephen and Laryssa, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Adnan.
Thank you, Adnan.
The video of this interview will be available on my Facebook page, RTCI, the English language program. We'll have a short break with Scorpions, you and I. 5 minutes and we'll be back. Stay with us.